Hello and welcome back. Today I do not have a speed paint for you, but instead I want to show you my old sketchbooks. Since I have way too many to fit everything into one video, I will split this into 3 parts. In part 1 I will show you these 4 sketchbooks of mine. They are all from 2009, 2010, maybe early 2011. I'm not 100% sure what would be the right order of them, so do not quote me on this. The first page of the sketchbook shows some kitties in different poses and with different emotions. On the next page I have even more of them. Back then I drew way more cats than humans, so don't expect too many manga sketches in the beginning. I started with drawing cats in 2009 when I first read the Warrior Cats books and joined the German-speaking Warrior Cats forum. There were a lot of beautiful drawings of cats from the books that inspired me to try drawing the characters myself. Probably most of the sketches on the first 2 pages are reference from drawings I found online when searching Warrior Cats pictures. On the next page is also a cat, but some more than that. I remember sitting with my dad when I sketched this page and asked him what to draw. He said I should try drawing this lamp and this glass bottle. And since I like drawing nature stuff more, I also drew a tree to fill the page. Then there are some clothes, probably copied from online pictures as well, I guess from dress-up games. Ooh, something colorful, but just a palm tree done with colored pencils. Then here we have the first human in this book. Doesn't it look purely amazing? Just kidding. And another cat, but colorful this time. I can be proud of my past self. And this is supposed to be a lion? I do not have a clue on how to draw a different kind of cat-like animals back then. Probably I wouldn't draw a lion right today as well, but I would use some references. As well as I didn't know how to draw canids. And when I didn't like the sketch, I left the rest of the page blank, as you can see here. Okay, so here's a human again. At least I tried to make the anatomy right with using this technique those old-fashioned how-to-draw books teach you back then. This half-color drawing I did in a plane. The stewardess saw me drawing it and talked a little to me about how she loved watching anime when she was younger. Then she asked me if I was drawing Sailor Moon. It was one of her favorite animes back then. I kinda was confused then, because when you know and watch Sailor Moon, how would you through that this was supposed to be her? Also, I did somewhere later a little redrawing of this drawing on the next page. And here we have a completely blank page filled with just one eye. Since this is the last page of this book, maybe excusable. So let's move on to the next one. It's from the same brand, just with a few more pages. The paper in this book is really smooth and shiny, which I liked back then, but I wouldn't use them today again. And the first page is filled with cats. What else could it be? It shows a scene from the life of my Warrior Cat's OC Erdbear. She's sleeping with her brothers and the other apprentices of Thunder Clan in their den. You will see more of those cats soon. But first another human. Back when I drew this, I noticed that her feet were way too small. But looking at it today, it makes me wonder how this could be the only mistake I was seeing in this. And the following pages show more or less all the same. The different cats I had in mind for Erdbear's story back when I wanted to write it down. I didn't draw most of these cats ever again, except for Erdbear of course. Even though I draw her way too rarely. Shimmerpfote back then was just another cat from the clan, but I turned her into one of Erdbear's kids later. And here you can see my little one. I changed her design a bit in the following years, so she isn't a pink anymore but got creamy orange fur instead, and also the spot on her chest is gone, while the spot on her head is a heart now. Same goes for her brother Fuchs, who changed a bit as well. Stern instead is nearly the same after all the years, and Regen just got small details changed. Then there are a few more random cats that mostly did not pop up in history anymore. This green cat is probably completely random. At least I do not remember that I wanted one in Erdbear's story. Also no idea why I put a fly next to that cat. Does she smell strange? This is probably supposed to be a wolf again. At least it's a really fluffy one. Also, I did try to draw nature stuff again. It's a beauty, but even back then I tried to draw different levels of backgrounds and not just a few trees standing in a row. This little guy is one of the cats of my grandma that was next to me while I drew this sketch. A couple of swan. From time to time I tried to draw different animals, mostly birds, as you see also in the next sketchbook. Also I started to incorporate more finished drawings that were completely colored. This one I drew while I was in a car. And this is just a blue stripe. Why is this folded in? Let's see what I did there. Oh, okay. I know why I folded it in. Around this time I must have got my first Copic marker. I bought them at the Leipziger book fair in March 2010, so that page must be from around that time. Also featuring my favorite subject, cats. And the last page shows a face again. I did the old drawing in 2010 and redrew it in 2015, so you can see an improvement from about 5 years on that page. Not that bad, I guess. Also, this picture must be somewhere on my Instagram account if I remember right. The following pages are blank, but I used the sketchbook some years later to draw a manga thing in the back, starting on the last page. I didn't use screen tones or anything, just colored it in with pencil for some gray tones. If you want, you can pause the video and try to read it. It features a first draft of the beginning of the story from my two OCs, Kaya and Lucy. And it's really sparkly and show you. And well, that's it for that book. So let's move on with sketchbook number 3. It's also from the same brand, but this time it has a spiral bending. And what else could be on the first page than a cat? I planned to turn this little one into an OC but never drew him again. Same goes for the kitties on the next page. Even though I had to admit that I like the design on the blue cat. Maybe I will use it again. But the brown cat, nah, won't turn that into an OC. This drawing is just one of the many fully colored ones I drew into the sketchbook. If you want me to redraw any of them, feel free to suggest them in the comments. Also, it saved my first Copic attempts into this book. And did I see first tries of shading? Looks like I tried it on the skin, even though the shading is just tiny and nearly invisible. I felt way safer drawing with colored pencils than with Copics, what could have the reason that I had more colors of colored pencils than I had Copics. Also, way back then I already enjoyed drawing mermaids. This is random stuff, I guess. A cat boy, a girlfriend, asked me to draw for her. Here you can also see one of the first attempts to draw folds into closes. Those are just random people, and the one girl is just standing on the stone because I drew her too short. Another random drawing featuring a girl and her dog. Then I tried something new with drawing a dragon. I had absolutely no idea how to draw a dragon, but it's not that bad. When I remember right, you will see way worse dragons following. This little fairy I was really proud of. I did a redraw of this a couple of years ago, but I still like this one a lot. And another mermaid. As I said, I like drawing those. Also, the wolves got a little better. These two are meant to symbolize sun and moon. Next, I try to draw my favorite animals, rabbits. Not that horrible for a first attempt, even though the anatomy is off. At least you can identify them as rabbits. And there is another bird. One of those lived in our garden back then, so I wanted to draw him. This picture is still really important to me. It shows the first drawing of my oldest human OC, Lil. She has a complicated background story that I had partly written down that time, but I can't find the file anymore, so I'm not 100% sure what plans I had for her. Also tried drawing something a bit more dark. And for some variety, a cat again. In this book, I started to draw more human and less cats. So here's some little stuff again. I can only guess, but those were the main characters from her story back then. I just remembered that the blue-haired guy was supposed to be a love interest, which you can also partly see on the next page. Here she is featured as a princess waiting for him. This is just some random food with faces. A little angel girl. And this one I really liked back then too. I drew it in English class while friends were watching. Another cat, but from a new point of view. This one I really liked back then too, but friends I showed it to didn't. They said that the knees of the one girl are looking like hanging breasts. Chibi animals were also a thing I drew way too often. One of my school friends always asked me to draw those, which I did because it was fun. Surely I gave her multiple sheets of paper filled with those animals. This heart girl I also did a redrawing from 2 years ago for Valentine's Day. It was one of my favorite drawings I did in the book back then, and I think it's still okay. Well, this one is really bad, especially the face. This wolf looks kinda nice, and also it has a nice shading for that time. I even tried to incorporate it to sunset later in its back. Well, this is just a random strawberry girl. This motif could be turned into a nice IKEA card with changing some bits here and there. And this dragon is probably copied from somewhere. Surely I wouldn't got that done on my own back then, even though it looks really cute. The next pages are really random stuff again. I was so proud about those chibis that I cutted them out and glued them into my sketchbook. I colored them with Copics and normal felt tip pens, but they are good done for that time. I still like them. I was completely happy when I drew this, but I wanted to draw something emotional. The last pages of the book I used to see which colors of the different kind of pens I had, so I put down my fine liners, my felt tip pens and my Copics. So this book is nearly filled, which is one of the reasons it's one of my favorites, even though it's kinda old. But I also like it because back then I had more original ideas and just drew what I wanted to draw mostly. And the last one for this video. This book is mostly blank pages and most of them aren't that good either. On the first pages you can see the first designs for my rabbit OC Aiki, which had a slightly different name back then. She already had that turquoise hair and white ears, but everything else changed. Also another drawing of Erdbear and her friends. Those probably are supposed to be chibis. And here we have one of the worst dragons ever drawn. Only the wings and the fire give away what is supposed to be. This drawing of Aiki is really well done. Especially the coloration is a lot better than in previous drawings, but I guess that I also had a reference for that. My drawings usually weren't that good back then. I mean, even the hand looks fine. This one is also okay. It's something completely different from the usual sweet looking characters. If I remember right, it was meant to be a kitty and a girl living on the street. Then there is following a lot of random stuff, like designs of cookies. Those drawings are copied from a how to draw book that I got myself back then. They're not bad and the book helped me a lot improving my anatomy and with drawing different poses. I probably attempted to draw some more manga pages and put the sketch of one of them into the sketchbook. This drawing of a mermaid was the base of my OC Amayako. She now has short red hair and is too proud to wear her glasses, but she still has a seal as a companion. And this is completely random stuff again. I mean, what is this? Well, and some cats again I designed for Erdbear's story. While the first attempt played in the Thunder Clan with Firestar as a leader, I later redesigned the Wood clans to make it more original. Also, I tried to draw Erdbear in a realistic way while copying a photo of a kitty. On the next pages you can't really see anything. I sketched the stuff way too light. Then there's more random stuff and an emo rabbit, I guess. Some horrible attempts to draw chibis that look so bad. This head is probably one of the first sketches I did for my OC Nekoko. I drastically changed her over the years, but she still has her eye patch. This is just a random sad face, and this is a random happy face. It looks so awful. Some more bad faces with different emotions, also bad looking. This one was supposed to be an OC as well. I wanted a counterpart for Nekoko. While she's the cute, depressed and socially awkward cat girl, he was supposed to be a street cat with bad temper. Then there are notes for a story that I planned but never drew. And an exercise where I drew those sparkling circles you see a lot in shoujo manga. I used different sizes of fine liners to test which would look best. Lastly, some random hairstyles. Most of the next pages are blank. Just some few pages in the back were filled later. This one was a homework for my stepsister, where she had to design a CD cover and I did the drawings for her. Those are supposed to be an angel, strawberry and an evil nacho. The rest is just random sketches and scribbles, even though this one could be turned into a nice scene too. I mean, it features a mermaid. And well, that's it for this part. I hope this was kinda interesting for you. If you like, I will film the inside of the next sketchbooks too. Therefore, I would show you what's inside of these 3 books.